All right, this is the the third video for the day two factoring. Okay, so day one of the first video was about reviewing day one stuff, and then last video talked about the factoring by mostly try and error, because the cross method works to a certain point and then it kind of overloaded the system, with number 12 as a great example, that if you have to do 196 and 53, come up with two numbers. I'm like, just go ahead and, yeah, I don't know how to figure out two numbers that would multiply to 196 and then add up to 53. That's just way too hard. So it's going to be a trial and error. So let's go ahead and do a couple more trial and error here. And as I said, if you watched the last video, it's really about playing with numbers. So like right here, I'm looking at this. I'm like, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking about 36. Because I'm looking at 6 and 6 here. I'm really thinking about 36. So I'm thinking about having 36 right here. And then they're both pluses. Okay, now what do I mean by having 36 right here? So seems like that we have a 36x and then plus x, okay? And that's how you get plus 37x. And then just like this, you're done, okay? Finished. Number 16, all right? So very similar to the previous one, also beginning with 6x squared, but slightly different. And for this case, I'm thinking like, you know, this one, I think it's this, okay? I think it's this, okay? I think it's this, okay? And I'm like, how do you know? I'm actually just trying, but then because I try a lot already back in my days, so I'm pretty good at trying stuff out. So we get plus 9x and then minus 4x, which gets you plus 5x, okay? And again, it's all about foiling, okay? If you need help foiling, again, there are plenty of resources out there to help you in foiling, but yeah, but make sure that you have two parentheses, then multiplying, and that's where you do the foiling process, okay? So that's how we do the factoring here. Now, sometimes you have some big numbers like this, and do we do a factoring straight away? Well, sort of, but and again, let me just emphasize one basic fact, is that math is not just about training of your brain, it's also about training of your eyes. You look at these numbers right here, and then we ask, do you see something in common? We say, yeah, they are all multiples of 4. And we say, oh, I'm glad that you see they are multiples of 4, because we can do this first. And you always want to do it. You always want to do this. Why do you always want to do it? Because it makes the numbers a bit simpler. And when the numbers are a bit simpler, your work would be less. And we all love less work, right? So so we have 5 and 5 right here, 4x and x, and then we put a plus right here, minus right here. And again, I know all these because I have been playing with numbers in my head since I was staring at the 4x squared plus 15x minus 25, and feel like it's going to be situations like this one, okay? Plus 20x minus 5x, that's going to give us plus 15x right here. So that's how we get the factors right here. And then we say, hey, this particular thing, okay, 16x squared plus 60x minus 100, it's factored into 4 times 4x minus 5 times x plus 5. So how many factors do we have? Well, technically got 3 factors here to get us the quadratic trinomial. So number 17 is a really good example to show you that before you start factoring, make sure that you practice looking at the items right here. Okay, if you look at number 18, what do you see? I hope you see something. I hope you see that these are all numbers that are factored. That could be, they're all multiples of 3, actually, numbers. So we can factor the 3 first. Okay, and we have a much simpler item to deal with. And if you want to do cross method, you can still do it. All right, it's just it might take you some time, and if you insist in doing cross method, then you really want to make sure that you spot out the common factor as quickly as possible. Okay, so we have prime numbers here. So 3x squared, it's going to be 3x times x. And the fact that it is 22x really got me wondering. That's going to be it. Because when you do the outer, you get 21x. When you do the inner, you get x. So 21x and x, that's how you get 22x. So for number 18, well, that's it. Okay. Simple factoring like this, and then we're done. So final words here, just make sure that you practice trial and error. And it's hard at the beginning because you don't have feelings with numbers yet, but the more you do, the better it's going to be. Okay, so just have faith and trust yourself. Okay, trust yourself about this whole trial and error process.